Let's talk with the famous son of a famous father. The son is Joe L. Brown, general manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. The father, of course, is Joey Brown. Joe Brown, the fact that your father has been one of America's great personalities for so many years, has this ever been a burden to you?
Oh, I would say if it has been, Cliff, perhaps it's been a psychological one. No other way. I think all of us feel it. That is, all of us who are fortunate enough to have fathers who've been successful in one field of endeavor or another, feel we've got an awful lot to live up to, and certainly I have. I would say I've been most fortunate in that being the son of a famous father has enabled me to perhaps to get into doors that otherwise to a Joe Smith or a Joe Jones might have been open. In other words, my father has contacts and people know him, at least know of him, even if they don't know him personally. And as a result, it makes for a very happy thing for me. And I think if used properly, by that I mean not used from that standpoint, but taken advantage of, used wisely and well and properly, it's been good for me.
Well, of course, through your father, you were given an opportunity at bat, but swinging the bat, this was something that only you could do for yourself. Joe, you've known so many famous show people your whole life. Is there one performer that you're fondest of?
Yes, Cliff, my father.
Well, Joe, your father, a great comedian. I always see the serious side of you. Is there also the comedy side? Can you do any routines as Dad does?
No, I have no real talent in the field of entertainment. I think perhaps that's why a lot of people ask me why I've not gone in the entertainment field, and my answer generally has been one, and I think they think I've been jocular, but it's been truthful. The reason I didn't go into it was because I didn't have any talent in that field. Perhaps I don't have any in baseball, but it's one in which I've made...
Come on, a man who leads a team to winning the World Series. You know, no small talk. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, certainly I have good people working with me, Cliff, but I really had no desire to go into show business. The only one thing I've always wanted to do all my life, I think, is something that perhaps my dad has wanted to do all his life, and that is go into professional sport. But I think his love for the business he's been in for almost 60 years is even greater than his love for sports.
Your father has always been a tremendous baseball fan, not merely a man who likes to go to a ball game, but a man who loves to go to a game, a man who loves to be with so many big leaguers, and he knows them all. And I'm wondering whether did he give you this feeling? Did he instill in you this love for baseball when you were a kid?
I think it certainly wasn't meant to be instilled in me. I think it was something that I was exposed to. I was around all type of sports, but primarily baseball when I was young. And I think anybody who is exposed to baseball is bound to love it. There are so many wonderful things about my business that I'm so proud of. And as a result, I couldn't help but love it, couldn't help but want to be a part of it.
Do you feel that from your father, you certainly must have learned something about show business? Have you been able to apply this knowledge to baseball?
I would say, to some degree at least, I would say more than any other way in the field of public relations. I'm most conscious of the fact that we are a publicly owned sport, shall we say. The public owns baseball, in effect. We are America's most popular sport because the public feels so close to us. As a result, all of my efforts have been in the direction, more than anything else, of trying to continue this feeling on the part of the public that the Pirates, or whatever club I've been associated with, belong to the people of not only of that community, but perhaps of all of the United States.
In 1960, when the Pittsburgh Pirates won the National League pennant, how did you first hear from Dad about this?
Well,
what was his immediate reaction?
Well, he called me on the phone, and I know he was just thrilled immeasurably, because his baseball days go back to, well, his days prior to his teens. He played baseball almost all his life, even when he was on the stage. As a matter of fact, one time he had to make up his mind whether he was going to stay in show business or go into professional athletics, that is, professional baseball, because he had several offers. But he called me on the phone and sounded almost like he was crying. I would imagine maybe that it was a thrill, just as big a thrill for him as it was for me.
He had, I say had because of the fire in the house, but he had many mementos from baseball. Would you recall what possibly was his most favorite?
I would say his most favorite is really one that I have, and that is the last glove worn by Lou Gehrig when he ended his consecutive game streak. Dad gave, at one time, the majority of his trophies, and he had, oh gosh, he had a whole room full of trophies, had a special room in the house, and he gave all of those trophies to my alma mater, UCLA, University of California at Los Angeles, and they had them in their trophy case. But I snuck in about 2 days before UCLA came to pick up the trophies and took out the two things that I wanted most. And not oddly enough, they were both baseball trophies. One was Lou Gehrig's glove, and the other one was Tris Speaker's World Series medal it was a gold medal with a diamond in it from 1915. It was the same team that Babe Ruth was a pitcher on, Boston Red Sox in 1915. I say I stole them, I really didn't, because Dad had told me that when he was gone, that all of the trophies would belong to me. And he told me one day that he was going to give them to UCLA, and I just felt I was taking the two things that I wanted the most. But I know that Dad valued Gehrig's glove more than any other trophy because he had great affection and great admiration for Lou Gehrig.
Has Dad ever exercised the parental right of telling a son what to do? Has he ever given you any advice or guidance or even suggested that you make a certain trade in baseball?
No, not at all. He certainly has given me a lot of advice during my life, but he never tended to push me in any direction as far as a choice of career was concerned. We sat down and talked. I was 19, and I decided to leave UCLA and go into baseball and the business end of it. And he told me then that there were just, at that time, really 19 good jobs in baseball. He said, I don't want to change your mind. This is what you want to do, fine. But I just point out to you that you're getting in a tough business. There are 16 general managers' jobs in 2 major leagues. There's the president of both leagues and the commissioner's job. Well, since that time, of course, we have 4 more major leagues, but the field is small, the top jobs in baseball, and I've been most fortunate.
Well, you've done very well. Your record of accomplishment, of course, is fine. I remember you once said that your ambition is to create a dynasty as the Yankees have. And you're on the way. Winning a pennant and winning a World Series, of course, is in the right direction. Joe Brown, I was wondering whether Dad ever, as father and son, ever said to you, I don't think you should have made that trade, or I think that was a particularly good one. Any advice like that? Or not necessarily advice, any comment in that area?
His comment has all been positive rather than negative. He's never criticized any deal that I've made, and certainly he knows, as I do, that some of the deals we've made have not been too successful. But I think he's a positive thinker, and certainly he knows that once you've made a deal, there's no sense being critical of it. You can't take it back. There are no, what do you call it in marbles, fudges? You know, you go over the line and you get to take it back, or whoops, let's play this one over. Once a deal is made, of course, you've got to live with it.
1963 season upcoming. Do you see a pennant in your future?
Very definitely, Cliff. I don't think there's any doubt that the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to win a pennant in the immediate future, and very possibly in 1963. We've got some problems to solve, but we think we've got the talent here with which to solve our problems. We made some deals that perhaps weren't met with the complete accord of a lot of critics throughout the United States. When you deal away 3/4 of the infield that won the 1960 pennant, just 3 years later, of course, you're open to criticism. But we think we've got some fine young talent. We felt we had some problems in other departments, and as a result, we moved in that direction. But we have some outstanding young talent that perhaps won't be playing for Pittsburgh this year. Some of these youngsters are going to play for us, but we have some fine youngsters who will be playing for us in the near future. I don't know whether we're building a dynasty, but I do know that our scouts and our minor league operators have done a real good job in preparing some boys to play for the Pirates in the near future who really have some talent.
Well, there you have the views of one of baseball's superior executives. Famous son, a famous father. Joe L. Brown, general manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is Cliff Evans in Fort Myers, Florida, the spring training camp of the Pittsburgh Pirates, reporting for Monitor.